Okay, guys, we're gonna get into this letter. Guys, we have a dear Fran, and it's long. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Dear Fran, I am a newly married woman. I love my husband with all I have. He has been a great provider, and I'm blessed to be a stay-at-home wife. Our 3 kids are out the house. We live extremely comfortably. Here is our issue. His aunt, she was his favorite aunt, and they are close in age, so they kind of grew up together. Okay. Let me add this to the stream so you guys can see. Okay. All right. So I'm a newly married woman. I love my husband with all I have. He has been a great provider, and I am blessed to be a stay at home wife. We live extremely comfortably. Here is our issue: his aunt. He was his favorite aunt. She was his favorite aunt, and they are close in age. So they kind of grew up together. Well, she was married for maybe 15 years, and she had somewhat of a psychotic breakdown, which has led her to undiagnosed mental issues. Due to this, her husband left, but he paid over $60,000 in the divorce. She blew through $35,000 in 4 months. What? Girl, sucky, sucky. Okay. So my hubby asked her to move from Las Vegas to Florida, closer to us. When she arrived, he helped her purchase a small manufactured home with the remainder of the money. She only needed to get a part time job to pay her bills. Fast forward to 2022, she gets hit by a car while walking, becomes disabled, and loses her job. She has constantly asked him for help to pay for things: a plumber to fix the toilet, new water heater. Now property taxes are past due. And who do you think she called? Initially, I was okay with the help, but is until recently. Hubby and I decided to travel the country. Before we left, we offered her help to set her up with a disability attorney because she cannot stand up straight from the accident, nor walk for very long, which makes getting a job impossible. Somehow the computer got some sort of liquid in it, so it doesn't work. So no work from home job for her, nor can she fill out forms online. I personally I personally bought my laptop to her home, offered to help her apply for some food stamps and disability, and she rejected the offer. She was like, "Nah, I'm good." We got her to call for the food stamp office, but she has so much pride. She was offended when the woman was asking her about her budget and how she pays for things. Okay. So, needless to say, we left and began our journey across America without any resolve for the aunt, but she will keep blowing up his voicemail with nasty messages, wishing him to get hit by a car, hopes the dog dies, all because we left. And so did her money train. I told him no more help. We tried to help her, but she decides she didn't want it. Don't pay for another thing. Her and her sister, hubby's mom, have never had a great relationship, and the rest of the family cut her off as well because, well, she's an asshole. Oh my God. Hubby feels like she has no one else to help, and God has blessed us to be a blessing to others. But she could have had help. You did help her, but she turned it down. I agree. We are to be a blessing, but not a doormat. Absolutely. I don't like how abusive she is when things don't go her way, mental illness or not. We tried several different ways to help her. At what point does it end? And the mental toll it takes on hubby is painful to witness. Am I wrong for wanting to cut her off? While I am so over the entire situation, edit. We have called the churches, charitable organizations, but when they come to her door, either she won't answer or slams the door in their face. Look, this is what I'm going to say off the rip. You really haven't cut her off. Just financially, you've decided to not deplete your finances, your resources, your savings for someone who seems to think that you guys are her, are her bailout. And at the end of the day, if you've raised your children are gone, you've saved your money, now it's retirement, now it's time for you guys to do and have a good time and enjoy life and all of those things. You guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm going to say this, he's a nephew. You know, I don't know if she had children or not. You never mentioned her children, but she has siblings, specifically your husband's mother. So she has siblings, she has cousins, and the fact that she doesn't have a good relationship sounds like she's getting ready to not have a good relationship with y'all too. So it sounds like she likes to cut people off who are not helping her. And at the end of the day, this is a situation she has created for herself. She sounds miserable. I think, you know, this is the deal. You don't want your husband to be so sad and upset at a decision he made to make you feel happy or to appease you because you're annoyed with the situation. If he is coming to that realization on his own, allow your husband to come to that realization and do what he feels is appropriate for him to do. The fact that your husband decided to get on your RV or however you guys are traveling and take off on your whatever y'all plan to do says a lot. That's number one. Number two, let your husband be a man. And as long as your husband is doing everything he's supposed to be doing for you, your household, and it's not taking way too much out of, like, let him come to the realization on his own to where he's going to close the pocketbook or his wallet, because at the end of the day, if something happens to her and he feels guilty, you're going to have to deal with that. As long as you're not missing a meal, missing a payment, missing from your savings account, missing a trip, all of those things, he's got to take care of you and yours first. But if he has it somewhere to do it for her, when he's ready to stop, he'll stop. And it sounds like he's stopping. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't like to interfere with family. And I don't like to interfere with family, especially someone who's in this situation, because um you don't want that on your shoulders for a few $100s or a few $1,000s. If she loses her house because she has not paid property taxes, then she's going to have to go someplace where indigent people live. Okay. If she doesn't want the help, she could end up being homeless. That's very serious, but she has a whole sister who needs to care more than her nephew. Nephew cares and nephew wants to help, and that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, sis needs to, wake up and stop leaving all of the pressure on her son to handle her sister. Okay. And if she is that much of a danger to herself and not making the right decisions, then you may need to get adult protective services involved. But that's also going to interfere with your vacation. You know what I'm saying? Your long trip across the country. So let him throw her a few dollars. Let him send her some groceries. When you guys get back, look into making, giving him the information to help make some more decisions and maybe get some of the other cousins and the other elders involved. Don't be the one that makes your husband feel like he has separated himself from his favorite aunt, and then he has regrets if she passes away, and then he's living feeling a certain type of way. And then fast forward, you just never know how that can have an effect on your children. If they know that that's dad's favorite aunt, that could be some resentment. This is a situation where, as a woman, we know how to lead from behind, right? You know how to provide information, provide support, give your opinion, and not be overbearing about it. and let your husband come to it on his own. Provide the resources. Just let him know that you would prefer that he spends as little of your resources, of our resources as possible, because that's not fair to us as a family, for what we had to do to be in this position right now. But sending her, a grocery, an Instacart or whatever, it doesn't sound like that's going to break the bank. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be someone's doormat, but also sometimes, you know, um, this is one of these things where you might just have to take one for the team. I'm not saying be taken advantage of. I'm just saying cutting a family member off that you don't give a fuck about is not really a stretch, right? But convincing or participating in your husband cutting off a family member that he gives a fuck about may not be the best thing. You know what I'm saying? In marriage, we have to see outside of ourselves and we have to do what's best for the relationship, for the family, and what's right. And even though I agree with what you're saying, this is a lead from behind moment and this is a wifely moment. And as a wife, allow your husband to make his own decision, deal with his aunt the way he needs to, because clearly that's his aunt. That's his aunt, not yours. Um, and you don't have to do anything. If he asks you, hey babe, can you get that information about adult protective services? Can you da 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 da? You be supportive. If sis is hungry, send her some food. She's an older woman. She's mentally not stable. Yes, you want the gravy train to stop, and that's cool. Sounds like your husband is well on his way to living his life and not being as concerned or allowing the rest of the family to participate in helping her. But don't be the final, because you don't want that. Because if something happens to her, girl, he's gonna be looking at you, and so is everybody else. So don't do that. Okay. Don't I wouldn't want that position. You know what I'm saying? Continue to support and be there. Um and sometimes you got to take one for the team, and knowing that she has a special place in his heart. You don't have to love on her if you don't want to, but knowing if you love your husband the way it sounds like you do, give her a little bit of grace and a little bit of space, and he's going to back up off of this. It sounds like he already is. So I feel like you're doing the right things. Just don't put too much pressure. Let him do it himself, right? And also encourage him to reach out to the rest of the family. He's not the only one. Y'all are on vacation. Y'all aren't even there. And if, I don't know what your finances are, of course, but we're out of here. We are on a very tight budget. We are traveling, and we don't have it right now, or however you feel comfortable saying it, or we don't want to do it right now. We can't do it right now. We are watching our pennies because we are gone for a year, and this, that, and the third. Sometimes just because you don't want to do something or are on a budget doesn't mean you don't have it. Being a good steward of your money is Bible, okay? And being a good steward of your money doesn't mean giving it to everybody else, okay? Forget about being a doormat. Being a good steward of your money, your finances, your future, your treasure that you have amassed and put aside for your later years and your children doesn't necessarily have to be squandered amongst family members who did not do that, okay? That's not their inheritance. That's your children's inheritance. That's your sustenance to make it through life, okay? So I wouldn't feel bad at all. I'm going to say that, but I would not guide my husband in turning his back on a family member, because sis, the family member back that you encourage someone to turn their back on could be you one day by your kids. You know what I'm saying? So be careful with that, because let your husband do what he thinks is right in this situation. If he sends her some groceries, girl, it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Paying her property taxes, have him call your mama. Okay. Where's her ex-husband? You know what I'm saying? Like, Yes, where's her ex-husband? Where's the kids? Okay? This should not be all nephew's responsibility. Okay? Guys, if you enjoyed this letter, if you've got some advice for sis, I will screenshot this letter and post it on my community post. You guys chime in. We'll read all of the comments next time we get together. If you guys have any advice for sis, because sis needs help. Okay. Hopefully, sis tuned in. She wrote this letter maybe about a week or so ago, and I didn't see it right away. So hopefully, sis has seen it. She didn't leave her email address, so I don't have her contact information to get back to her. But that is okay. It will be posted, so she'll see it. And I may even post this as a standalone video in the Dear Fran playlist. But anyway, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed members and mods today. It was so much fun. Let me see what your comments are. You guys were like quiet on this one. Um, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. What else did we have to talk about? I feel like we talked about everything. Am I missing anything? I know Keisha dropped a video. We'll get into that later or tomorrow. Is there anything else? I mean, do I owe y'all anything? Someone in the comments, Fran, you don't owe us nothing. Okay. You gave it to us all today. Okay. Clownery, foolishness, mom talk, arrests, everything. Girl, did we do that today or what? Okay. Girl, fugazi relationships, girl. I feel like, girl, we've been all over the place, girl. And we did a Dear Fran letter. What? Guys, if you have a question, you have a problem, you want Bougie Gang to help you solve it, sis, you just need, girl, you need some help. All right. I think there should be a link in the description box. If not, it'll be on the community post. Make sure it, girl, if you got a problem, you need some help, you want Bougie Gang's advice, girl, just let us know. Let us know. Click it, and we will come through and tell you, give you some real good advice. Okay. Bougie Gang, thank you so much. Here's your flowers, boo-boos. I love you guys. I did see the fight in Alabama. Bama has been showing out. Okay. You need to think on that one. Okay, I'm gonna post the letter. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I don't believe in cutting off family, but that's a personal decision, and it sounds like they're good financially. Sending some groceries ain't gonna break the bank. Okay. Um, sometimes you got to be the bigger person in marriage. Sometimes, like it's not all Bonnie and Clyde. For all of you who might got it fucked up, marriage is not Bonnie and Clyde moment. Everything doesn't have to be us against the world. Okay. It's better that it's not. Like y'all don't need to be all about it all the time. It is good to be able to have someone who will walk you back a little bit, and y'all don't get rowdy and it's us against the world moment. Okay. That's not a good place to be in a marriage. I don't recommend that. Okay. There's some times, girl, I'm sitting up there, I'm patting myself on the back because I'm like, girl, who is this woman? Who are you? Girl, because once upon a time, girl, I would have probably been a me against the world type chick. But me against the world type chick, you got to like your influence over your spouse is real. And you have to give good advice. You have to be